Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Tips to freshen for free.
Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Wilkniss here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. I am super excited to get into the tips for freshening for free because it's a great way to approach your home any time of year.
And a lot of things we're going to be talking about today have to do with things to take out of your home. And that is why it is free. We're not buying anything. We're just kind of getting rid of things. And honestly, I cannot tell you how much getting rid of things from my house or putting them in a closet has made me so much happier. I'm serious.
It is oftentimes better by subtraction. Less is more. And I really do believe that is true.
Absolutely. And especially in your house. When it's cluttered and you've got too much stuff in there, it just causes stress. You can't find things. And it's just an unpleasant experience opening closets where you have to, slam the door shut or it's not going to shut. Or you're kind of having to lean against it and latch it. That's not the way to live. So
that is not the way to live. We're going to free you from that today. And while I was preparing for this episode, Anita's words were popping back into my head. You know how she often says things like, sometimes you don't even see it or you don't see it anymore because you're in your home. You're not really seeing what's there to be seen. So today is another one of those episodes where eyes wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it along with us as we're talking to you. You can certainly do it right after you listen to the episode or, think about it a little bit and make a plan. But you can act on this and you can make a difference in your home really within an hour.
That's right. Are you ready to start?
I can't wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So clear off your countertop in your kitchen.
Okay.
If you're in your kitchen, you probably have too much stuff on the counter and you really just want some pretty things, some useful things like, your mixer. Obviously, I think you're going to want that out there. But, there's probably a lot of other things that you don't need sitting out that just kind of end up being left there that just kind of cause clutter and just kind of cause stress. So clear off that counter. While you're there, clear off the top of those cabinets, too. Get all that stuff off.
Oh, please, stop. Yeah, please do it. But let's just go back to the mixer. Mixers are lovely, and, particularly the KitchenAid one and, your favorite color. But if you're not a mixer, if you're mixing once a year, put your mixer away.
Well, if you have room to put some of these, I have the KitchenAid mixer. It's massive. I don't have another place much to put it. So, there's that, too. But, yeah, if you've got a place to put it and you're not using it, then yeah, you can put it up. But just think about all that stuff that's sitting out on your counter. Are you really using them? So there's a few spices, like the salt and the olive oil. I kind of keep by the stove because I am using that every day.
Right. And going above the cabinets. If you haven't heard us talk about that before, listen and hear it now. Those days are over. You don't need all that stuff up there. It's not doing you any favors.
No, there was a time when that was the thing, but those days have gone.
It was something we all tried.
Oh, yes. Of course we did it.
Everybody did it. So, if your roosters have left the building, then your baskets, and God forbid if there's fake ivy up there, you got to get that down. So press pause and go take that down right now. When we said fresh, we didn't mean mean, right? We just meant fresh, like clean fresh.
I don't know. You're kind of borderline fresh today, young lady.
I'm not sure where we're going. Okay. Everyone has too much stuff, whether it's dish towels to furniture. Everybody's got too many things. So think about that as you go room to room. And that's what you should really do with respect to your homework with regard to this episode. You should really go room to room because sometimes it might feel overwhelming to sort of try to take a mental inventory of everything you've got. So break it down or do it all in one weekend or do an hour here, an hour there. But take it room by room if you can. And really look at the room with eyes wide open, with fresh eyes. See what is there. See that ottoman you need to walk around all the time. See that stack of old magazines that are just sitting there dog-eared and, for the next go through so you can pull out what you want. Do it now or donate them. Get rid of the things that are laying around that are sort of broken and that you were going to fix. And that could be a chair or that could be, I don't know, a key ring or something like that. It could be small things, big things, but that stuff piles up. If you're not going to get to it or the thing didn't cost that much or you're not even sure if you can fix it right, move it on out.
Yeah, and Kelly, I just cannot agree with you enough on the room by room. And that's called chunking. And the chunking is going to make it feel doable. If you say, I'm going to do the whole house in one day, and you have a 3,500 square foot house, that's just a bit much. And I think that's biting off a little too much for one day. So I like to go one room at a time, start at one corner of my house and work my way through. And I don't worry about how long it takes. I just do one room at a time. And then when the room is done, I can check it off. And it makes me so happy to have that room checked off. So I'm going to go back to the kitchen and talk about a few more things to get rid of in there. How about those glass vases from the florist?
That's on my list
using
too.
Those.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, check those off.
I love that. I respect the idea that you thought to save the glass vase and do save one or two, right? Maybe a tall one and a short one, but you don't need them all unless you're a person who makes floral designs for friends. Then put them in a bin and see if you can put them in the garage somewhere or someplace else. You don't need them right on hand.
But those vases from the florist, they're not pretty. I mean, we've already talked about it. You're going to have the white pictures like we talked about. Use those as your vases. You can display them when they're empty, but I just don't like those things that come from the florist. I think they're ugly. And I don't, unless you're handing them, unless you're giving arrangements to friends and then you say, don't send back the vase.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't worry about it. Keep it. It's clear glass. It's all yours.
Exactly. And then speaking of glass, some people collect, every time they get something that comes in a glass jar, they're washing it out and they feel like, oh, I can't throw this out. But, you don't need all those pickle jars. And, unless you're going to be canning, but then you need new lids anyway.
I had a phase where I was like, oh, tomato sauce jars. Perfect. I can do so many things with them. And then I just had so many that was ridiculous. And you waste so much water trying to get the label off and make it not smell like tomato sauce anymore.
And then you end up with a massive amount. I mean, there things like that. It's like, it's a good idea maybe to save one or two, but 30, 40, when do you stop? I mean, just think about stuff like that just kind of one or two might make sense, but all this stuff is not going to make sense. So like, for example, those condiment packets from the restaurant, you don't need all those. How about the plastic forks from takeout? Maybe keep 2 or 3. And then let's talk next about the expired stuff.
Oh, gosh.
There's a whole list. I won't.
Do we have to? Is that a need? Is there a need?
Yeah, we don't need to go through the whole list of things that might expire. But if there's a date on it, check it. The food, the spices.
Yeah. Well, spices in particular, because people think, oh, I don't know when they expire. Yeah, definitely check those.
And if you're buying, sometimes I buy spices, there is no date. So then you can I write on a purchase date.
Aren't you efficient?
So you have to know if it's your handwriting. It's not the Best Buy, but it's the purchase date. So you don't want to keep them too long after that. Then the clock's ticking, baby.
Oh yeah, get rolling. Use that tarragon. All righty. Are we still in the kitchen? Can I move on?
Okay, just one more thing. The extra mugs. Sure. I've got to think about that. There's so many ugly mugs out there. You don't need 50 mugs. Just pick a couple. Just pick your favorites.
Yeah.
Like 3, a person. Everyone can have maybe 3, and that's it.
Yeah. Or 1.
Yes, or 1. Yes, because I think I said, I put the box of mugs by the door to get rid of, and my whole family was like, that's my favorite mug. It wasn't their favorite mug, but they said it was.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Okay, this is very broad because it could be in any place. Okay, and it's kind of fresh, maybe.
All right.
Don't anyone be offended. But the scrolly metal stuff that you might have picked up in the TJ Maxx aisle quite some time ago. Scrolly metal stuff, and you know what I'm talking about, from TJ Maxx. Often it was in the form of maybe a candlestick or a set of candlesticks or 3 candlesticks or maybe a mirror or just a scrolly metal wall hangings. If you've got them, if they're out somewhere, take a hard look. If you've got them stored away thinking someday that will come back, it's not going to, I'm telling you now, right? That is not a piece of vintage that is going to get better with time. The fake faux patina that it may or may not have, or the oil rub bronze coloration, that's not going to come like rolling back into town at any time soon, or probably ever in your lifetime. So it is safe to let it go.
Yes.
I mean, if you really love the candlestick, I guess maybe you could spray paint it a different color, but it's still going to have that telltale scrolly stuff of, I don't know, what do you think, 10 years, 7 years, maybe even 15 years ago, maybe more if you got on that trend really early.
Circa 2010, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, such a proliferation of that stuff, because obviously it's cheap. It's probably easy to ship to the TJ Maxx's and, the stores of that like, or maybe you even spent a lot of money on it when it first came out. It was definitely a look. But it's no longer something that is really going to have your home have a fresh look. So it's time to say bye.
How about the old dried flowers where they've lost the color, or the potpourri with no smell anymore?
No, the potpourri with no smell. Who's tested their potpourri? Everybody. Everyone's like, this is so. We got a little lavender out of it, maybe. I don't know.
Swirl it.
Yes. Put it in the dryer.
There you go. Yeah. Or old silk flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're not talking about a Diane James that you may have spent a lot of money on.
No. I'm talking about that arrangement you did yourself 10 years ago that now you don't really even like. And you took them out and you put them in the back of your closet because you thought, I'm going to use those later. And I don't think you are.
BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. I'm going to make a wreath out of those.
Right.
I'll take my arrangement apart and make a wreath out of it. It's not going to happen. And even if you did, you're not going to like it.
I mean, I have my lovely Diane James on the table that looks fantastic. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the old stuff that's not the high quality.
Here's another mean thing.
You really are being mean today. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think I'm doing everyone a favor. I think this is a public service that we're doing today. Take a hard look at the kid stuff that you may have in your house, because chances are your kids they grow up, right? Most kids do. And they don't want to play with those things anymore, but you're holding on to them because maybe you think they're going to play with them, or if it was their favorite, or maybe for your own self, your own sentimentality is coming into play there. And I get that. That's what these Rubbermaid bins are for. And you make a very select few items and you put them in there and you save it for, whoever, Johnny and Susie and Olivia and whoever. And you have them marked and you put them in a place of storage and you can see them and you have them. If there's stuff that's kids' toys, kids' clothes, old stuffed animals, things that are just in their room or in the family room area, and they're not playing with them on a regular basis, take them away. Obviously, you can find a new home for them. My goodness, you go to Goodwill, people would snatch that stuff right off the shelf. Or if you're not ready to get rid of it completely because you are concerned, which is a phenomenon, that as soon as it's gone, they're like, hey, wait a minute, where was my crocodile? And then you can still have the crocodile or whatever else in like a hefty bag somewhere, maybe in your car trunk, so it can go right away to Goodwill. Maybe give it a few weeks. If nobody asks for it, it's gone. Because that stuff is just bringing it all down.
Well, Evie had a bunch of artwork from her art class in college. And of course, it's in the house. She just shoved it in the back of a closet. I found it and I thought, okay. And I really was I was thinking I was going to get rid of it because I thought she is not even going to know. She's not going to want it. She's not an artist. And I thought I threw it away. Okay. Apparently I didn't, but I thought I threw it away. And then sure enough, she had some friend who was an artist and she was like, well, I did some work. Mom, I was looking all over for it. And I thought, oh no. And I just said, well, I'm not sure where it is, which was the truth. But I did finally find it in the garage. So it was a good thing I had not gotten rid of it because I thought, well, who knew she was going to actually ask for it? But I still had it. But my feeling...
She was going to show off to her artist friends.
Well, who knew that was going to happen? But, my feeling is with the kid stuff is I don't feel like I need to keep everything of hers. I'm going to keep a few things. And some things, you can just take a picture of it. But the reality is we keep all this stuff for our kids. They move out and then you say, hey, don't forget your bag of mementos when you go. And they say, I don't want that junk. And then you're like, well, I don't want it.
Oh, my gosh.
I've saved it for you. So anyway, you may be saving a bunch of things for your children that they really do not appreciate. Well, let's move into some things maybe you might have in your living room or your bedroom, like some old artwork that you don't like. I mean, it's so easy to get bored with old artwork, or maybe you never really liked it that much to begin with. So, you know what? It's time to send it on to somebody else. I think somebody else might really enjoy something that you're kind of tired of. Because I know when I've had something in my house for a long time, I get really tired of it.
How about lampshades? Now, that could be in really any room of your home, but take a look at your lampshades. We love a drum shade. Drum shade really freshens things up. If you've got shades that are silk, or in that imperial / bell type of shape. Sometimes they even had little dangly things on them, little sparkles. There was a time it kind of coincided with the scrolly metal craze. But if you've got lampshades like that, think about switching them out because that can completely update a lamp. So you'll want to measure and figure out what size you would need because a drum shape is going to be, feel different on the lamp. But that's the point. It's going to freshen it up.
Yes. A new, fresh lampshade, although that requires money, but that is going to really freshen up an old lamp, changing out that old frumpy lampshade if you have one. It's just going to be a night and day difference. Okay, so here's some things I'm thinking you might want to go ahead and get rid of. Old cards that you're not really going to send. I have a stack of them that I really do need to move them on to somebody else or throw them away. Extra fabric. I mean, unless you're a big sewer, probably not going to. I've gotten rid of a lot of fabric. But, you can probably find somebody who quilts or somebody who might like that extra fabric. Old craft supplies, unless you're a big crafter. I found myself with a lot of craft supplies, and I don't really like to craft. So I finally gave those to somebody who did like to craft. And old candles.
Oh,
they're like half burned down, and they weren't really that nice to begin with. I mean, really nice ones. I mean, you're going to keep even if they're half burned, but you just
really nice ones, you're probably just going to keep burning. Right. You're going to go the 60 hours or whatever it is. But yeah, the ones that are like a bad color or they smell like, I don't know, watermelon, cotton candy or something like that someone maybe gave you. And then sometimes when they sit out, then they get that dust on top of them and the burnt thing. That is so bad. So if you've got them in a cupboard, get rid of them because you know what? Life is too short to burn icky smelling candles. I mean, it's just a rule. Put that on a t-shirt. You just shouldn't do it. Go buy yourself a nice candle or open the window. Get some fresh air. Worn pillow covers that have seen a better day. Just get rid of them. They're better not to have a tossed pillow. I mean, she caught me on the lampshade, but that was going to cost you some money if you had to change it. So I'm not going to tell you to go buy a new cover, but, maybe just swap them out with something you probably already have.
Use that old fabric and make a new one.
There you go. It's better not to have them out. It would look fresher if you just got rid of them. Or, which probably more the case, because I bet not too many people have frayed-looking pillow covers, bad inserts. Sometimes the insert comes with the pillow. It's just a bad insert. That's not doing you any favors. So get rid of that. And if you have nicer inserts somewhere, put them in. If you don't want to buy new ones now, just get rid of the bad ones. Here's just an overall thought. Just some stuff you don't like. Don't have anything in your house that you don't love. I mean, obviously, we all know that very famous quote, anything that's not useful or beautiful and all of that. It's a well-known quote because it's true and it really is something to live by. So if there's stuff in your house that you don't like, that's just going to be bringing down your look and it's not doing anything for you. So let it go.
And it doesn't matter that you could still use it. If you're not using it, then and you don't like it, why is it taking up space in your house?
Right. Or that you might use it in 20 years.
Right.
No, you're not.
Probably not.
You're not.
And if you are, you're thinking, you're just going to end up buying new because you're not going to be able to find it. It'll be in the back of the closet or under the bed.
So, we're moving on to our Instagram feature. What do you have today?
Well, we've talked about how much we love House and Garden magazine, which is a UK magazine, and they have a fabulous website. Well, guess what? They have a fabulous Instagram feed, too. Their handle is House and Garden UK, and they have stunning photos of homes from their magazine, and they're so beautiful. And guess what? You're just going to see some unique architectural features that you're not going to see anywhere else, and you're going to get some inspiration for your home. I think it's just a beautiful to look at, but I think you're going to get some ideas of maybe I can take that one little piece from that room and do something similar in my house. But it's a beautiful feed, and it's not all homes from the UK. There are some homes from other places in Europe that they show.
Oh, it's just stunning.
Yeah, and there's gardens too, because it's House and Garden, right?
Right. No, it's just absolutely beautiful. I like to just find or be told or recommended an account and then just kind of I'll use that almost like a relaxing time to sit down and go through, instead of like scrolling through the feed where you're bouncing around to all different people. I'll just pick one account. That's why I love that we're doing this now. Pick one and really go through it slowly and get the vibe. And then I sometimes screenshot the images that I really love so I can just take a closer look later on. Or if they're referencing something in their description, you can screenshot it and so then you can remember later on. So it's so simple. You can do it all on your phone. It's really nice to have that in your hand. It's like having a little magazine in your hand all the time.
Yes. And some of these accounts, they're just so stunning and so fun. And they transport you someplace else, which I love.
Go ahead. Clean out your closet. Then head straight to Quinn's. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor. And I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health: potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Right. Everybody sort of says this about it. You fall down someone's rabbit hole. And that is so what it is for me. I feel like, oh my gosh, and now I'm loving this. And, I want to move to Denmark or wherever, whatever I'm looking at. And so it's super fun. So hopefully everybody's enjoying this. And if anybody has Instagram accounts that they are really enjoying, shoot us an email and, we'll check them out. And maybe we'll feature them as well. So our crushes today, I'm excited about my crush. It is an interview with someone a lot of you already know about and a lot of you really enjoy. It's a really great interview with Monty Don, the British gardener who is world renowned. Everybody seems to know Monty, certainly on both sides of the pond and elsewhere. And he is interviewed by another great American gardener. It's on the Joe Gardener podcast. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes.
Oh, wonderful. My crush, I don't have yet, but I am going to get it. They do such quality work. I know it's going to be good. And that is a new book from Fortnum and Mason, and it's called Time for Tea. It talks about how you do tea, how you brew it. It's got recipes in it. It talks about the different types of tea, and the recipes are always just spot on. So I'm very excited about getting this. It's going to be wonderful. And their photos are always beautiful.
Super. We have a question today, and I think this is a really great question because I bet a lot of people think about this. Anita, I know that you have some thoughts about this. How old does something have to be considered vintage? And how old does something have to be considered antique?
Well, vintage things tend to be 20 years or older, and antiques are 100 years or older. So those are the two categories. So if it's more than 20 years old but less than 100, we're going to call it vintage. And if it's more than 100, then we're going to call it antique.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, I think that those terms are kind of used loosely. Yes. I think that's really a good general rule to have in your head. You may play into what you would be either asked or what you'd be willing to pay for something, right? If it was vintage as opposed to antique, obviously if something's much older, it may have more value. I don't know. It really is so particularized to the item, but I think that's, in a general sense, really good thing to have in your mind if you are a vintage and antique shopper.
Well, if you're selling on Etsy and you're calling it vintage, it has to be at least 20 years old. But otherwise, I wouldn't, I think it's just kind of a general term for something older.
Well, today was so much fun. Remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult with Anita and I. We can't wait to talk to you.